Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Today's video we're going to be looking through the balance changes that just dropped today. I'm going to be giving my opinions and also going through what balance changes I think should have happened. So yeah, let's jump into the balance changes. Okay, so first of all, let's go through the nerfs, because I think these are the ones that people were asking for the most. Let's start off with Carl. As you can see, his super damage he receives has gone down from 40% to 30% with his protective star power. I did call this one in my star power video. I definitely thought that 40% was too much. It's one of the main reasons why Carl was good, so a 10% decrease is pretty good, but let's see if it's too much. It wasn't the best when it was 30% last time. So yeah, let's see how Cole handles this in the meta. Okay, next with a nerf is B. B has been one of the best brawlers in the game by far for some time now, ever since the introduction of her second star power, Honeycoat. So basically the way they've nerfed this is that it's turned into 8 bits extra life star power. You can only use this once a match. This nerf was definitely needed. A lot of pros and a lot of just everyone out there was crying out for a Honeycoat nerf. So for sure it probably won't be that useful. Let's see if B's first star power is any good now that's received a nerf. But yeah, definitely a nerf. I would say that's pretty decent from Supercell. Okay, next on the list for a much needed nerf, Mr. P. Mr. P's attack has gone decreased by 12.5%. Pretty much called this one because his star power, this one here, Handle with Care, obviously gives its extra range. His range was absolutely insane. So a indirect nerf to this was decreasing its range, which we've done. So yeah, fair play to Supercell. I think this is going to be a good nerf in my opinion. Another nerf to one of the best brawlers in the game, DARRYL. So basically when DARRYL rolls, he only has his shield now for 0.9 seconds. A few months ago this used to be 3 seconds, so you can just see how much they've nerfed this. For contrast, his roll is only 0.8 seconds long, so literally as soon as he finishes rolling, his shield goes. I feel like this is going to pretty much kill DARRYL. You're going to see his second star power being used literally every time now. This is probably too much of a nerf, we'll see. I can see him definitely being probably the worst brawler in the game. I've got to call it pretty early here, but yeah, probably a nerf it was hit way too hard here. Okay, with a final nerf, they've nerfed extra life on 8-bit. I bet you guys can remember when this was first introduced. You could respawn with invincibility with all your ammo left. It was absolutely crazy. You could do it literally every time as well. Unlimited times throughout the match. So now it's at the point where it's basically useless. You don't even have your invincibility when you die for the first time. So literally as soon as you die, they can just keep shooting you again. It's basically for the first life you're going to be having double the health really, because you don't have that vulnerability shield. You have no ammo when you respawn as well. So it's going to be pretty much a useless star power in my opinion, other than Showdown. Yeah, so you're going to be seeing his range star power being used a lot more now. Okay, so one of the first buffs is going to be Frank. Frank has received a 300 health buff. This makes him the tankiest brawler in the game by far now. He now has over 10,000 HP with that sponge star power. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Frank is in the meta. I think it'll be pretty good with the likes of Jean and the likes of Poco, who can constantly heal him. Yeah, we'll see how Frank is in this meta, because he's been one of the worst brawlers in the game for some time now. El Primo has received a 200 health buff. It's gone from 8,200 to 8,400. It's a really small buff, but it will make him a lot more viable in many other modes. He was only really good in Siege and competitive play, so you might be able to see him in a bit of Brawl Ball now, and maybe Heist as well. Yeah, so we'll see how this affects him. I don't think it will affect him too much, but yeah, he still needed a little bit of a buff, so we'll see here. Poco has received a slight buff. His health's gone from 5,400 to 5,600 at max level. Poco's not really been one of the best brawlers in the meta. He's really suffered since the introduction of B. He's only really good around November time during the World Championship. So it'll be interesting to see how this helps him in the meta. Pam is another brawler who's received a buff. She's not really been the best in the meta recently. She's received a 300 health buff, which takes her from 6,420 to 6,720. Yeah, let's see how she performs in the meta now. She really has sucked in the meta for so long. I've only really seen her play on one map, which is the open, I think it's Factory Rush Siege, the really open one. It's the only time I've seen her in competitive play. So yeah, let's see if she's used a lot more in the meta. Tick has got a buff. This is very controversial buff. A lot of people really hate Tick because of how annoying he is. But he's received a 40 damage buff per mine. So that's a total of 120 altogether. This makes it so he's not far below 3,000 per 3 mines. So we'll see how this affects him. I think it's going to make him even more annoying, obviously. But yeah, he's probably needed it. He's not really been the best in the meta. Dynamite's been one of the worst brawlers in the game for such a long while. Just the introduction of so many different brawlers that basically nullify Dynamite in so many ways has just seen him decrease in popularity and down people's tier list rankings. He's received a damage buff per Dynamite. I think it's plus 40, so this is plus 80 overall. I still think Dynamite will be the worst brawler in the game. So yeah, we'll see if this really impacts him a lot. Personally, I don't think it's going to matter too much. Spike has received a buff. It's been a while since any of his attack or health stats have been changed. But yeah, his Spike damage has gone up by 40. This is quite interesting because when you're up close you can do up to 5k damage per attack. So yeah, he can near enough, I think he can 2-shot Frank if you hit him in the right spot. I don't think this was really too needed. Spike weren't really seen in the meta at all, but he would have received a lot of indirect buffs if he had buffed him already. So I think Spike's probably going to be one of the best brawlers in the game right now. Colt is another brawler who's been one of the worst in the meta for such a long while. It's received a buff which increases damage by 20 per bullet hit and is super. I don't think this is really going to affect Colt too much, but we'll see. I just think he's such a high skill cap brawler, so I don't see him really being used too much in the meta. But yeah, it's always nice to see after a few days after the balance changes whether brawlers are going to be any good. Okay, so the next buff we're going to see is Leon. His attack at max range has gone from 144 to 249. This is really going to help Leon in them long range battles. He also builds up his super based on how much damage he does. So we're going to be seeing his super a lot more. He's been one of the worst brawlers in the game for a while now. So yeah, we'll see how this impacts him in 3v3. Okay, so the last buff is going to be M's. Health has gone up by 200. It's only a small amount, but can help Ems a lot. She's not really been the best brawler in the meta. She's just been a mid-tier brawler. She excels in a few maps, but yeah, she's not really been the best. And we've also buffed her hype star power, which I said was one of the worst star powers in the game, so I definitely agree. It's gone from 300 to 400 per tick. Okay guys, that's going to be the end of today's video. It's quite a short one. I'm just giving my opinions on the balance changes and what I think of them, and how they're going to affect the meta. It's going to take about a week or so, I reckon, to really see who's the best brawlers and the worst brawlers in this meta. I feel like it's going to switch the meta up quite a lot with a nerf of B and a nerf of Mr. P, so yeah, we'll definitely see. That rhyme didn't really mean for that to happen. But a nerf that should definitely have happened is Sandy. Sandy's been one of the best brawlers in the game for such a long time. His super is so annoying. I'm in desperate need of a nerf for that. And also a nerf that really shouldn't have happened in my opinion was DARRYL. Steel Hoops has basically been completely useless now. They should have nerfed him in a different way, I think. Maybe his damage should have been decreased, or his health. Steel Hoops literally is useless now. But yeah, we'll give it a week or so and see what brawlers are good and bad. But yeah, let me know down in the comment section below what video you want me to do next, and I'll see you guys next time.